Okay, welcome everyone, and welcome especially to this first presentation. We are going to be talking about Excel in a little more general sense. Imagine this lecture is about chapter 1, where we're talking about basic Excel. I realized going into this class, this is a far more advanced Excel course than what you've had previously. Probably no matter where you come from, this is a more advanced course. And I realize that many of you have not had a lot of experience with Excel. So I am going to be trying to take it from a fairly basic level. If you need more help, by all means, give me a call. This is a course that I'm very excited about. It's one that I think can be a lot of help, but you do have to know how to work Excel to make it work. So, just looking at the course, this week you've got a discussion, our lecture response, which is what you're working on right now, your Module 1 assignment. Now, in each of these cases, you're actually doing something in Excel. There aren't very many, I don't think there are any assignments in here where I'm asking for your opinion other than discussions. What I'm looking to get you to do is actually do something. So, Module 1 assignment, case problem level 2 in Chapter 1, and case problem level 2 in Chapter 2. The first one, click on right here, has a template that we can work on. This would be for level 2 in Chapter 1. So, if you click on that, it would open this up. Let me just move this up a little bit. So, this is what you get. Now, in Excel, there's some things you have to remember if you've learned it before, or learn if you haven't learned it before, about how Excel works. The best way that I can explain how Excel works is to think of someone who is like Rain Man in that movie with Tom Cruise. It's a very, very bright math student. It will do whatever you tell it to do, as long as you tell it to do whatever you want it to do the right way. If you tell it in steps that it can understand, it will be right every single time, and it can be a massively powerful machine. If you tell it to do things the wrong way, it simply will not work. So, just let's toss up some numbers here and let's get started. Okay? Remember, it is a math student, so you can ask it to do a whole bunch of different things. The most simple, you click on a cell, hit equals. Equals is telling Excel, I want you to do something for me. Alright, in this case, let's click on 2, hit plus on my keyboard, click on the other 2, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, what I have done here, notice the name's K3 plus K4. If the column is K, the numbers 3 and 4. I have told it quite directly, take whatever's in that cell, okay, right next to it, and add it to whatever is in that cell, the one right next to it and one below, and that equals 4. The reason I put it that way, we are not adding 2 and 2, we are adding whatever's in those cells. For example, I can change this to a 3, and Excel is going to automatically change that to a 5 because it's looking at whatever we put in those cells. I could put instead 3,000 and 2,000. It doesn't care. Again, it's going to look at its instructions. Take that cell and that cell, add them together. Alright? Now, what happens if I want to do something different? Let's say instead of hitting add, I want to add all of these together. Can I do that in some way that isn't that plus that plus that plus that? Yes, you can. It's called a sum function. So we're going to hit equals, telling Excel we need it to do something. I'm going to type in sum. This is called a formula. There's hundreds of them, if not thousands, in Excel. And we're saying we're going to add up a bunch of numbers. So I'm going to actually just click and drag and highlight all the cells that we want to add. Close parentheses and hit enter. Yet again, this is just taking a look at those cells. You can click on it, it'll show you, and saying add up whatever's in there. It does not care what we put in here. It will keep on updating, keep on adding whatever you put into this bunch. Okay? Now, what happens if instead I want to take an average? Well, put in average. Open parentheses tells Excel that's the end of the formula name. We want to start adding stuff now. And we drag and drop. that same amount, close parentheses. Our average is 5,239.417. Again, if I change things, it automatically updates. Okay, now there's the new average. What if I want the highest number in this list? Equals max of all of these numbers. $51,451. This one right here is the biggest. What happens if I want the smallest one? Well, the min function. There we go. We're going to have a several way tie for smallest, which is number 2. If I were to change some of these though, again, notice it continues to update. Now we have a two-way tie for the smallest. So you've got your sum, average, max, and min functions, all right here talking about these numbers here. All right. Now, that's some simple functions. Now you're going to be using all of those functions right over here in this assignment. There's some other ones that you're going to be using. You can add things, you can also multiply them. Okay, equals that times this, for example. You could do the same using a formula if you want to, called product. Okay, and multiply those same two cells. It does not care. There's the same one. So when you're doing this assignment, you're going to be using some of these same tools. All right, sum, average, max, min, and product, multiplying things. At one point you are multiplying, I believe, these two and then subtracting that. Well, can you do that? Well, sure. Equals, we'll use some other numbers here, that times that. I'm just clicking and subtract that. There's your number. Okay, simple. You can do that right in here and go all the way down. What if you wanted to add that to it? Well, go in and add something. Plus that number. Okay. As long as you're telling it to do something in a way that it understands, it's going to be right every single time, using the equals and then simply putting in basic commands or using a formula. Now, if you want to use a formula, the format is always equals the name of the formula, open parenthesis. Now, if you want some help, right up here, click on this FX. This actually pulls up the dialog box talking about the formula, and it'll try to tell you what it wants. Okay, number one, it tells you right here, sum function adds all the numbers in a range of cells. Okay, you could actually put in numbers in each one of these, and it would continue to open up and give you different numbers. So up to 201 to 255 numbers to sum. Okay, and here's your formula result. So it'll try and actually help you out with that. Even if you were to start a new one, it gives you little prompts. Notice right here underneath it, you've got number 1, number 2. If you were to put these in, it's going to keep prompting you and saying, well, need another number, need another number. Until you get to the end, you put a close parentheses and you empty it. Okay? What about some other formulas you could use? What about a count formula, which you're going to use at one point in the assignment, dealing with this bonus? How many of these have a bonus part to it? Well, how about count? Let's go, actually, you've got number 1, you've got count. Counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. You could use that. You could also use count A, which might be more helpful. What does it do? It counts everything, every cell that has a number in it, anything that is not blank. So if you're looking at a range of cells with a whole bunch of numbers, it's going to count those 12 and give you a number 12. What if instead you were looking at this bunch right here? You got 3 different packages, and you were wondering how many of those have bonuses? Just one, because only one of them has a bonus sitting right there. Okay, that's actually more helpful than you might think. As we get deeper into analysis, you'll see where that might be helpful. We have count functions, count A functions, you have averages, sums, products, a whole bunch of different things. You'll find a lot of different formulas. Often when you need one, you can just have to look it up and try and find which one you need. But that's an introduction to Excel. I'll have some more that we'll do, but this is a good startup for some of the basic formulas and basic navigation of Excel. The other thing, which you probably know better than you know the formulas, is just formatting. Okay, if I want this to be in dollar signs, all I have to do is click on this dollar sign right there. If I want to add or subtract decimal points, I can use these buttons. Okay, if you like the formatting in one cell and want to copy it, click right here. You can actually click on the Format Painter button. It's incredibly useful. Drag and drop. Now if I put anything into these cells, it'll be in a dollar format with the same number of decimals as the one above. Until you actually put a number in there, Excel leaves it blank. Okay, hope that's helpful. I'll be posting more videos, but this is good for our lecture response assignment. Thank you for watching, and please contact me with any issues. Thank you.